On today's show from CBS's Big Brother 25, please welcome Reilly Smedley.
Hi, Mike. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to get to talk to you today.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mike Grand Show, and today's special guest is from CBS's Big Brother 25. Please welcome Reilly Smedley. Hey Reilly, how are you?
Hi, Mike. I'm so good. How are you?
Good, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited.
We are so excited to have you. We're going to have a fun time on today's show, everybody. And the first thing I want to know from Reilly is you're from Tennessee, correct? And
I live in Tennessee. I'm from Maine, though, but I've been in Tennessee for like 7 months now.
Okay, because, well, then that's even more of a perfect response, because what I want to know is, I just had a friend move to Tennessee this week. I had somebody move there last year. I have many guests on the show that's from Tennessee. It's like Tennessee is the new hot spot. So can you tell me what it's like living in Tennessee?
So, first of all, it sounds like you're due for a Tennessee trip. And second of all, Tennessee is awesome. It's so different from Maine. I am from a teeny tiny town where there's a bunch of old people and babies and ice cream, and it's very simple and safe and quiet. And I decided to randomly pick up my life and move to the craziest city ever in Nashville. I mean, it's awesome though. It's a melting pot of different people. It's so exciting. It's just music everywhere and fun and just, oh, it's so cool living in Tennessee. I'm so happy I did it. I have no regrets.
Now, you decided to audition for Big Brother. So I want to know, what made you audition for Big Brother, and were you a fan of the show beforehand? Have you ever seen it?
I am a diehard Big Brother fan. Like, my family will take an entire summer and just dedicate it to Big Brother. Like, our schedule revolves around it. So I have been wanting to for a long time. I'm definitely a super duper fan. So I was so excited to have the opportunity.
Now, one of the requirements for going on Big Brother is you're going to live in a house and you have no contact with the outside world for about 3 months. So obviously you're going to miss your friends, you're going to miss your family, but one of the hardest things I would think is not having a cell phone, not being able to watch TV, things like that. So I want to know, how did you adjust to that? And what was it like, that day when they said, okay, you're going to have to, like, this is it with your cell phone, kiss it goodbye. You're not going to see it for a while. So tell us what that process was like for you.
I felt naked. It's so sad. It's actually really sad. Like, we live in a generation at a time right now where like technology is the way we all communicate. So I was actually terrified. But honestly, after maybe a week or so, even less than that, really, it just felt like a total cleanse. I felt like a new person. And it was awesome because while we were all there, we were all in the same boat and we got to know each other double time. Like, I got so close to everybody. I was only there for 16 days, but it really felt so much longer than that. You were just sitting there in a house with a bunch of new people just talking and getting to know each other. When I got my phone back, I didn't even touch it for like 2 hours. I didn't even want it. It felt like a foreign object in my hand. I didn't want it, but oh, it was awesome. It was really awesome to not have it. I didn't need it. So it was great.
Tell us what it was like entering the Big Brother house that first day, the first time you walked through that doors. Remind us who were the other contestants that walked in with you, and what did you think of the house when you first saw it?
I was just starstruck. I kept pinching myself. When I saw Julie, I almost passed out. But I think my group was me, Mimi, Haisam, and Cam. We were the last group in the house. When I walked in, it was so surreal. It is, I don't know why, what I expected it to be, but it was nothing like I expected it to be. It was so big in there and just, oh my gosh, it was the coolest freaking feeling. I would do it over again and a million times. It was awesome.
And now when you entered the house, they had you guys split up into like 4 different competition groups. So
Yeah.
there, let's see, there was a scary verse, the humiliverse, the scramble verse, and the comic
Comic
verse,
verse.
correct? Okay, those were, so which one were you a part of, and what was your competition that you had to do?
So I was the blue team, and I was the last group to enter the house, and I got the I forget what it was called, but I had to. It was the scary verse competition, so I was holding on for dear life. Well, like 300 pounds was pulling me back. It was crazy. So that was my comp, and I looked at my competition. I saw Luke, I saw Corey, and I saw Red, and I was like, girl power. I gotta, channel my inner muscle here. But yeah, I was part of the scary verse comp, which was scary.
So then you competed in that competition, and then at the end of all those competitions there were four people. The whoever lost the competitions were up for elimination. So it was Jared, Kirsten, Felicia, and Corey were the four. So
Yep.
after that you got to go in the house, and you had a surprise. You had a 17th contestant there. So what I want to know is, were you, even though you didn't say it on the show, but did you know who Sari was?
Yeah, I did. Actually, when I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, that's Suri. And why is she here? I thought she was actually there to introduce like a new twist or something. I didn't know she was the twist. I thought she was going to say hey and tell us something cool and walk out. I didn't know she was there to stay. But yeah, I did know who Suri was. So that was crazy to see her in person, because just like my family loves Big Brother, we also love Survivor. So I definitely knew who she was.
But you didn't know Jared, though. You didn't know that Jared was their son.
No, my
That was
gosh,
a big
no, not
twist.
at all.
Now, one person in the house that did know that was Izzy. So she knew that. She approached Sari and Jared, and she told them. Now, my question for you is, if you were Izzy in that situation, would you have done the same thing? Do you think she did the right thing by saying she knew them, or would you have held that close to you as gameplay for later on?
I probably would have done what Izzy did. I think that that is a very powerful piece of information to have, and to be able to, solidify something so quickly with a survivor legend who knows this type of game inside and out. I mean, that is absolutely something that I would want, and I'm kind of jealous of Izzy. I wish I did that. I wish I knew. But I definitely would have done that. I definitely would have rathered Sari be, closer to me than not, and spoil that. So yeah, I would have definitely done what she did.
Now, you did do a battle for the head of household, and you were the first head of household. You had this balance beam competition. So tell us what it was like doing that competition, and what it was like being the first head of household.
Well, it's funny because I went into it thinking, I'm going to work on my social game. I don't need the first HOH. I don't want it. I'm not going to throw it, but I'm not going to try super hard. But I'm also a very competitive person. And I saw the comp and I said, I need to win that. So it was really, honestly, it was hard because these are set up to look really easy, and they're set up, the red looked like the easiest path and the one that was the fastest. And then the yellow was like, oh, that looks like a fast one too. No one even thought about the blue. The red and the yellow were the eye candy. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm way more confident in my speed than my balance. So I'm just going to go for the blue and hope for the best. And I ended up sprinting across it. So, but being the first HOH was definitely not the plan at first. And I was super proud of myself for winning it. I definitely wish I handled it a little bit better, but it was cool. It was definitely something I'll never forget.
Yep. And you did save Jared and Corey from elimination that week, which left
Yes.
Felicia and Kirsten on the block. And you told everyone that your target was Kirsten. So can you tell us why she was your target that week?
Yeah. So, when we all got there, we were all just meeting each other, mingling, becoming friends, just learning each other's names. Honestly, I didn't even have everyone's names down yet by the time I won HOH. It was just day 2. So it was really, really hard to pick anything and rip the band-aid off, and try to find reason to put anyone on the block, or take anyone down. We're just all getting to know each other. But I kind of just went with what everyone was telling me. I didn't want to ruffle any feathers, and she, unfortunately, which really stinks because I wish things were different. She was the name that everyone was bringing up to me, so I just figured, the least amount of blood possible for me is what I have to do, and that ultimately ended up with Kirsten leaving. Which, watching back now, obviously I see through it. I'm sad, but that was kind of my strategy for the week. So yeah.
Yep. And then there was a power of veto competition that Heisem won, and he decided to keep the noms the same. So Kirsten did wind up going home that week. And then there were a couple alliances that formed. So Heisem was with the Professors Alliance, and you were with the Handful Alliance. So can you tell us who was in the Handful Alliance and who brought up the idea of creating that alliance?
So it was me, Jag, Matt, Blue, and Cameron. And the reason we formed this alliance is because we were all sleeping in the scary room, and there's a bunch of hands on the wall, and like it's very scary in there. But we all bonded. We all just became friends immediately, especially like Jag and I at first, and we loved Matt and we loved Blue. And then Cameron, came to talk to me when I was HOH, and we just all really got along with each other immediately. So we all kind of came together and we're like, wait, let's make this a thing. Why not? Let's feel safe with our buddies. This is like the best situation ever. So that's how the Handful was created.
Yep, and then there was a head of household competition with Heisem won, but he made you the target that week. So can you tell us, why did Heisem make you the target? What happened there?
Yeah. Well, so I didn't understand at first. And then looking back, I kind of see what happened. I think it all stemmed from information being leaked to the other side. I had Jared in my alliance, and his mom was on the other side. So that's immediately where that fell apart. He went and told his mom because she wasn't in the alliance that I made. And then, when things started falling apart on that side, I think Cameron noticed, and Cameron was like, oh crap, I need to go do damage control. And he went over and tried to flip to the other side. So then he kind of told them my plans, and I had been keeping an eye on Heisem just because I think he had been keeping an eye on me. And the paranoia is crazy in there. I was up in the HOH room just terrified. I was like, everyone's watching me. But yeah, I think it was just the leak of information. I wish that I kind of just never opened my mouth because I didn't really need to at the time. And I don't think any of it would have happened, but I think that's where that all came from. I also need to be a better liar because I totally could have just lied, and I didn't. I'm not a liar. I'm so bad at that.
Now, you did try to get the vote flipped. Sari did try to flip the vote. So tell us how that came about. And then why did ultimately you gave up and didn't want them to flip the vote?
Yeah, so during my HOH, I had the Handful, I had Family Style, but I also had Sari and Felicia, who I really, really wanted to work with. They weren't in my main alliances, but I did have a little, like, we really wanted to work with each other, kind of side deal with them. And Sari told me after I was nominated, she said, I promise you have my vote, Reilly. Like, you're not leaving the house. You made me and Felicia feel safe. Like, I'm gonna do my best to keep you safe. So originally I thought I had the votes. I thought I had Matt, Jag, Blue, Jared, Corey, and America. I needed 7. So I originally just wanted Cerie's vote to flip, and keep me in the house. And then, she mentioned you need to get with Izzy and talk to her, like we're a package deal kind of thing. So I talked to Izzy, and I think there was a solid day, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think there was a solid day where like I was staying in the house. Like we had the flip. We had it all settled. But the problem is there's so much time in that house where you sit there and all you can do is think and talk and change your mind. We have too much time in there to change your mind, So I think everyone got paranoid and then started reading a little too far into it about the future and what would come with me staying in the house versus Cam, and then it all fell apart. But we did have the vote flip, and I was very sad. I didn't give up in the end necessarily. I knew it wasn't going to happen, because literally I was fighting like crazy up until the last few minutes before the live show. And when Sari, so actually how it happened was Blue, I think, was doing a final check around the house, like, hey guys, like, we're still voting for Reilly, right? And I think Izzy or someone told her, like, probably not. And then I asked to talk to Sari, and she told me it didn't end up working out. So I told my alliance, I was like, you know what, guys, don't blow your game. I love you. I'm gonna see you on the other side. Kick some freaking butt for me. Like, just do your thing. Just it's okay. So I didn't want them to blow their game by voting for me.
Yeah, because I was very surprised too, because I had watched like the night before in the live feed, and I was like, "Oh yes, Reilly, and is gonna
I
stay
know.
the vote." And then I'm watching the live show. I'm like, "What is going on?
I
Why is
know.
everyone
Like,
voting against
stop.
Reilly?"
Oh man,
Didn't
I'm so
understand what
mad.
happened there. Because you're
You'll
right.
never get over it.
Because you're right. Everything changes so quickly. This is a show and a game that honestly is insane to keep up with. And you only spent a little bit of time in the house, but how? So it may not have been as difficult as somebody, let's say, that's in there for 90 days. But did you have any techniques for memorization? Because you also have to remember what day of the week it is, who did what alliance you're in, things like that. So what kind of techniques did you have to remember things?
Well, I am a very physical learner, so so for memorization, I would sit there and I would just look and I think and I'd be like, okay, well, August 2nd was the premiere, so this happened this day. I would have to like start at the beginning and then remember what day of the week it was. It was very memorization was tough, but I will say when I was counting numbers and stuff, we're not allowed to have pen and paper or anything like that, but I did have materials. So I used Q-tips at one point. I was counting votes with Q-tips. I was counting with trail mix. I was like making people different nuts, like Tyson was an almond, cashew, I was like I was trying my best to like find materials to count and plan things out. It was definitely really hard, but that was kind of all I could do. I can imagine. I mean, I was even getting confused about what day it was while I was in there. I was only in there for 16 days, so I pray for the rest of the famine there. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Now, besides obviously knowing that Sari and Jared after you left the house was, part of a twist this season, what surprised you now that you're home and you're able to rewatch things or see live feeds? Is there anything looking back that surprised you that happened in the house that you weren't aware of when you were in the house?
I mean, you know, definitely there are a lot of things that I've seen. Like I shouldn't look because I'm setting myself up to be sad. But I'm also very curious and I do want to see. And there's stuff that I definitely that makes sense now that I've looked. I think when I was in the house, I was like, how on earth is information slipping? Like, how is this happening? We were so solid. And then I look back and I see immediately what happened. And it all makes sense now. So, I don't think surprising stuff. It just kind of clarifies, why things unraveled the way they did. Definitely really sad and disappointing because yeah, it's all avoidable, but it's okay. I'm glad that I get an opportunity at least to have closure with it and see what happened.
Yep. Now, what game that, because we still have a long way to go till finale night, but
Yeah.
what game that you didn't get to play, that whether it's going to come on later in the season or may have happened, that you would have liked to have played if you were to stay?
The wall comp. I would have held on for dear life. That's the one competition that I wanted to do so badly because I'm such a competitor. I'm so motivated that I swear I would have never let go. I think I like to say that I maybe would have won that one. I really wanted to do the wall comp. I also really wanted to meet Zingbot and Oteb. I wanted to challenge Zingbot to a robot dance off. So
Yes, because I was just going to ask you too, if you were to meet Zingbot, is there a specific zing you might think he would tell you? What do you think he would, what would he get you on?
oh, I already know what he'd get me on. He'd tell me I'm a crybaby. He would definitely tell me that I cried too much, and he's not even wrong. I cried more in that show than I've ever cried in my life. I don't even know where that came from. I don't know why I cried so much. It's stressful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he'd definitely call me a crybaby. And I
Now,
definitely agree with him.
now, looking at the show now that's still progressing, it's anybody's game. Every day you watch this, it's like something new and everything like that. Now, what you and I have to do, and our answers may change by finale
Yeah.
night, let's predict who you think, and I'll predict who I think will make it to the final two. So
Okay.
not who we want, but who we think will make it to the final two. So who do you think has what it takes and will make it to the final two on finale night?
Matt and I'm gonna say Matt and Corey. Matt and Corey.
Okay, good prediction. So
Yeah.
my prediction, I also choose Matt, but I think Micola's gonna make it.
Ooh, yeah, Mimi.
She's kind of been very quiet, but
Yep.
still at the same time playing the game. I think she could make it to finale night playing the game
I
that she's
think so
playing.
too. I just got goosebumps. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I forgot about Mimi.
so
Yeah, she's
let's
a
see.
dark
Mimi,
horse.
it's gonna be her. So let's watch and let's see. And really,
Yeah.
there's Corey's playing a good game. America's playing a good game. There's so many people that are all playing a good game now. But the even if you're playing a good game, you don't know who's getting eliminated. That's the
I
problem.
know.
That's the
Oh
problem.
my
But that's what
gosh,
makes it
it's so
fun.
unpredictable. Yeah,
That's
that's what makes it so much fun. And it stresses me out because it's so different. It's funny, I'm a fan of the show and I'll watch the show, but now that I'm watching my family on the show, I'm like, this is so like I feel like I'm watching myself. Like it's so scary. I have the same feelings, the same anxiety that I had in the house, outside of the house. I'm glued to the live feeds. I can't stop. I can't stop. I'm crazy.
Now, what is next for Reilly?
What is next for Reilly? I don't know. It's to be determined. I'm kind of just gonna continue on, back to work. I'm just kind of still adjusting. I don't think I'm ever going to not be adjusting. um, but I'm just trying to, heal and move forward. And I cannot wait. I think the most exciting thing for me is finale night. I just can't wait to see everybody. I cannot wait to squeeze my friends. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But after that, I am open to really anything. I'm just living in the present right now. So
Well, the games aren't over, Reilly, because we have one more game for you here today,
oh
and it's
baby.
called the lightning round. Where I'm
Okay.
gonna ask you I'm gonna name you two things, and you just tell me which one you prefer.
Okay, let's do it.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Better coffee, Dunkin' or Starbucks?
Oh, Starbucks.
UFC or boxing?
Boxing.
Which would you rather have? No Wi-Fi or no music?
No Wi-Fi.
When you were younger, what were you better at? Jump rope or hopscotch?
Jump rope.
Would you rather be able to read people's minds or communicate and speak with animals?
Read people's minds.
What's worse? Not being able to stop sneezing or not being able to, or I'm sorry, or to constantly hiccup?
Oh my gosh.
Which is worse?
Not being able to stop sneezing, I think. I think they're both horrible.
Would you rather be lost in the woods or have your car break down on the road?
Car breakdown.
Football or baseball?
Football.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Which do you misplace more, your keys or your phone?
Yikes. That's a tie, but probably my keys.
And who's your favorite Spice Girl? Scary Baby, Ginger Posh, or Sporty?
Sporty. Definitely sporty.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Reilly.
Oh, thank you, Mike. It was so much fun.
Can you tell everybody how they can keep up with you on social media?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Reilly Smedley. I'm also on TikTok, and my TikTok is kind of bad, but it's Reilly at Reilly's TikTok. But yeah, Instagram and TikTok, you can find me.
Okay, awesome. Thank you once again for joining us. And thank you guys for watching us here today. Oh, and follow me on social media. I'm at official Mike Rand on Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter. I'm sorry, on X. On X, it's at MikeRand.com, C-O-M, like the website, MikeRand.com. And of course, on YouTube, the Mike Rand and at official Mike Rand. So thank you again, Reilly. And thank you guys for watching us. And we will talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, bye. So much.